Melander-Smith, and you're watching Living Forward. The goal of Living Forward is to talk about issues that help people with disabilities and chronic illnesses live the very best life possible. As you may have noticed, our studio has gone through some slight changes as we just changed locations. We're now located on Arthur Street in Roseville. I'm excited for the new studio to get built because it's going to be wonderful. Today we have a very, very special show. We're going to be talking about accessible playgrounds. And as a mother with a disability, I know how important it is to take my child to a playground where I can get down on my hands and knees and bring my chair right up to the playground to play with him. So I'm so excited tonight that we have with us Jane Miller from the Minneapolis Park and Rec Board and Peggy Halverson from Falls for All. So welcome, Peggy. Thank you so much. And you, Jane, nice to have you on the show.
Nice to meet you.
So explain to me, what is Falls for All?
Falls for All started last summer. A group primarily of family and friends that found a need to, or desire to build a universal access playground. We developed a mission statement about developing a place where children and adults can play together, whether or not you have a disability, and come together and play in a place that offers dignity and respect for differences.
Wonderful. And Jane, does the Minneapolis Park and Rec Board already have accessible playgrounds in the area?
Absolutely. We have hundreds of accessible playgrounds that meet ADA standards, which are pretty rigorous. But this will be our first universally accessible playground, and we're really excited to actually partner with Falls for All, that they're willing to raise money to actually offer amenities that go above and beyond the ADA standards, which is really exciting.
Yeah, and tell me, please, how is the universal access different than the standard ADA access? I mean, I know there's subtle differences, but I'm not quite sure what they are. Maybe you can explain that for me.
To be considered universal access, there has to be a minimum of a 70% accessibility.
Okay.
ADA standards are not very, they don't require much more than a transfer platform, or if it is a larger playground, then they require a single entry and exit ramp.
Okay.
And there's no requirement as far as the surfacing goes. So with a universal access playground, you have a surfacing that is accessible for people utilizing mobility appliances. You have more than one entry and exit ramp point so that you can go from structure to structure within the playground and without having to go up and then back down. Mm-hmm. So there's ramps within the play structures themselves connecting the elements, and ideally there are ramps that gain elevation so that a child who is in a wheelchair can gain elevation and kind of gain a new perspective. Instead of looking up, they have a chance to look down.
Yeah. Okay. So they're much more extensive and they're much more interactive for children.
Yes.
And the other thing is that most ADA playgrounds are for children, designed for accessibility for children, whereas a universally accessible playground actually provides access for an adult. For example, you may have an able-bodied child, but
Yes.
if as an adult you're disabled, you would probably not have the kind of accessibility in the playground as an adult.
Right.
A standard ADA compliant playground as you would with a universally
Right, and that's so
accessible
important
playground.
for us parents that have disabilities
Yep.
to be able to play with our children, and also for grandparents as well to be able to bring their grandchildren
Absolutely.
to the park. So
Absolutely.
I'm very excited about this project. I know that you are in the process of raising funds, and you had mentioned that earlier, Jane. So can you explain to me what that entails? And I know you have an upcoming event as well, so maybe you could touch on that.
Well, we've been given an estimate to build the ideal playground for the selected site at close to $1 million.
Okay.
Now there is $300,000 in public funding becoming available this summer, and so what we're trying to do is enhance that funding to reach the goal of the $1 million. We had a fundraiser this past fall. We've been applying to some foundations. We have some commitments. We made about $12,000 on our first fundraiser, and we are now planning our second fundraiser, which is geared towards families.
Okay.
called Touch a Truck.
Oh, I've heard about that. That's going to be coming up on May 21st, is that right?
Yes.
Wonderful.
In St. Louis Park.
Okay.
We have some fun vehicles for kids to come and look at. Most of them they'll be able to touch. Several are offering some sort of demonstration. And we'll have some other.
So if somebody wanted to attend that, how could we go ahead and get tickets? Is there a website that they could, that I guess?
They can look at the Falls for All website, Falls with the numeral 4.
Okay, fallsforall.com.
all.com. Yes, and there's information on the fundraiser.
Okay, and they can also, you can also go to www.peopleforparks.net and get some more information on playground accessibility in general. So that is our show for today. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me and to talking about accessible playgrounds. I can't think of a better cause than that will just give and give for generations. So thank you so much for all of your efforts, and thank you for joining me today.
Absolutely.
Before I go, I just want to touch on one thing that's coming up in the metro area, and that is the 26th annual Brain Injury Association Conference. If you'd like some more information on that, you can contact the Brain Injury Association of Minnesota. That's our show for today. Thank you all for joining me. Bye-bye for now.